You okay to take these?
Sure. Why not?
I don't know, maybe you have like a movie coming.
Last week's, but I couldn't find it.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, all right, yeah, I should have known.
there's supposed to be recordings, and I know that Joyce, Joyce Herman has been watching them, so, but she had to ask specifically for them, like from the secretary, so I don't know
All right.
how you, I don't know how to access them. I know that they're available somehow. Oh, lovely. Lovely to see everyone. I'll still wait a few minutes, but I will put on. I hope this won't interfere with the Zoom because it's really hard for me to, we're gonna listen to some songs while we're waiting to start.
It was beautiful.
This is Eric Einstein. Do you know Eric Einstein, anybody? He was like, oh, he passed away a few years ago, but he was really popular all the way, for decades. He's like an icon of, Israeli popular music. And this is just, there are two songs I'm gonna play for you before we start. It's based on Song of Songs, of course, but it's called Hinech. Oh no, this one is called, it's funny, this one's called Song Number 8 because they just never gave it a name, but it's actually based, it's kind of like, they drew on Song of Songs, how fair you are, oh, how beautiful you are, it just repeats itself over and over again. And it's kind of like a fun rhythm. And it's kind of funny because it's old Hebrew. You can see, look, if you even look at the first, on page 19 on the top, it says, how fair you are, my friend, how fair your eyes are doves. So this, in the song, he's calling her, and dove is a metaphor that comes back, so you're gonna hear it in the song, it's Yonati. Yifati means my beautiful, and Yonati is my dove. So he's just like, but I'm gonna play it for you now. It's got this kind of, I can almost say tongue-in-cheek kind of playfulness.
Come on, finish your list, it's bedtime.
Ooh, I skip it. That?
Yeah, you bring the thing over and push. Skip
The
that.
thing is that I can't find it first, like. In the meantime, we're gonna watch Christmas videos.
Yeah.
There it is. This is from 1971. Oh, if you have the old packet, it's like, it's in the old packet. My lily, my dove, come to my garden. You're beautiful, my friend. Your eyes are like doves. So what's funny here is how he kind of mixes the biblical poetic language with modern Hebrew. So he's saying, "Oh, my dove, my love, my perfect one," and then he says, "Come on already, like boy, kval, boys, boy nile." Come on already. And based on the same verse, how beautiful you are. Here's one that's from 2002.
Is this him too?
This is, no, this is 30 years later. This is a different artist who, it's called the Idan Reichel is his name, and he had this project where he had a very unique sound, a really special sound, and I don't know how to start it now. There we go. A really unique sound where he worked and collaborated with Ethiopian Jews who still practice their, the traditional music from Ethiopia. So you're going to hear the mix. It's really nice. Not this, not this one, no.
He made an appearance in my.
Oh, he did? So did you get to hear his music?
Yeah, we were there before singing it.
He's wonderful.
He had already artists perform with her.
Right, so yeah, he has an arrange, he works with different ethnic music. So you heard in the beginning, there was this kind of like vocalization, that's the Ethiopian. So what he does, we actually have it in the old packet, it's on page, I don't know if you have your old packet, but it's on page 11 of the old packet, if you want to look at it. You can also just enjoy listening to it, but if you're interested, he also takes Shira Shirim, but he takes a lot of artistic liberty with the lyrics and modernizes it. So he makes references, but this beautiful Ethiopian vocalization. Oh, so I apologize because I have to check the Zoom. I'm gonna pause this for a moment just to make sure.
Israeli band leader coming to town. The 21st and 22nd.
Who's that?
Ayo Vilna.
Aya Vilna, yeah.
Ayo Vilna big band.
Oh, nice.
He performed at the Memorial Art Gallery.
Awesome. So that's big band music, right?
Yes. Stompology, soul jazz, swing.
Fun. Okay, so hopefully I have been technically challenged balancing Zoom and all of this, but perhaps nobody's coming in on Zoom today. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep going. Make sure. Go back to our fan Zoom. And see what you see and what I see is two different things. So let's start again with our opening song. Dodi Yavad Legano. My beloved has gone down to his garden with beds of spices. Dodi Yavad Legano. La Ogota Boshem. ארוכות הבושם, דודי עלה לגנו, ארוכות הבושם, ארוכות הבושם, לראות בגני, ולרקוד שושני, לראות בגני, ולרקוד שושני. אנה הלך גדל, היפה בישי, אנה הלך גדל, ובקשנו עמה. אנה הלך גדל, היפה בישי, אנה הלך גדל, ובקשנו עמה. דודי ירד לגנו, לארוכות הבושם, ארוכות הבושם, לראות בגני, ולרקוד שושני, לראות בגני, ולרקוד שושני, לראות בגני, ולרקוד שושני, לראות בגני, ולרקוד שושני. Let's take a moment to make our personal intention for this evening before the study. I invite you to sit comfortably in your chair, center yourself. Sit comfortably. You can put your hands on your lap or at your sides. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel yourself sinking into your chair. You may close your eyes if you wish. Let's take a deep breath in and exhale. And one more breath in and exhale. Let's say the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu b'ha'azot b'divrei Torah. Checking. All right. So today we are going to consider, as I entitled on the top of your pages for today, beauty, adoration, and praise in Song of Songs. We're going to have to think about it a little bit. Can everyone hear me okay? Should I speak up? Okay, let me just. So, as we have seen in what we've read, most of Song of Songs is a dialogue of lyrical mutual praise and worship between the beloved and the bride. And today we're going to look at particular passages where the lovers praise each other in it's somewhat, as you can see, they're long passages. So we have nice big chunks of text where they are sort of spilling out elaborate metaphorical descriptions of each other. But what's interesting about this particular form of praise is that it is kind of like a listing from head to toe or from toe to head, basically a description of the body parts of the beloved. And later on, it's interesting because as I was reading, there's not a lot of record of this in ancient poetry, but in later Arabic poetry has this convention, and it's called the wasf. So they have this convention appears later, but before I'm not sure where they have similar kind of listings of descriptions of the beloved. And what's also interesting about this kind of like, I feel like it's a spilling over, gushing over the loved one. And contemporary scholars, and I drew a lot on his particular translation. I refer to it, and I change it where I feel it's not quite faithful to the Hebrew. But Robert Alter has done translations of the entire Bible. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he has, yeah. So, and what he says about the metaphor here, which is really interesting, is that it's the metaphor goes into such detail and is so elaborate that you kind of get lost in it, and then you kind of lose sight of which is the metaphor and which is the referent. Are we actually talking about a garden or a maiden? Is that wait, are we describing a maiden or a fragrant flower? I forgot, what is the main focus, right, of the verse? And in your imagination and when you envision in your mind's eye, you lose sight, you forget that we're actually talking about a woman or a young man. You can literally see the gazelles jumping on the mountains. You're like, what are they actually referring to? And your mind takes it so literally, right? And so you kind of get, I would say, in my experience, it's a kind of disorienting experience. And so how does that affect, I'm just throwing out a question, how does that affect our imaginations and our understanding of the text and our experience of the text? And what function does it serve artistically? What was the poet thinking, kind of thing? And what kind of effect did he or she or they want to have upon us? And since our subject is beauty, I wanted to throw out a few more big questions before we jump into the text, which is, what is beauty? I think this is like a very age-old philosophical, subject of debate. How do we even describe beauty? What is beauty? What is beauty? And we talk about it and in this poem, they speak of it so freely, but actually, what is beauty? What is what's the connection between beauty and love?
In the eye of the beholder.
Right. So what does that mean? What does that
It's
mean?
like, somebody that you could fall in love with, somebody else wouldn't,
So you're saying it's subjective.
Mhm.
Is beauty subjective? Is there an ideal beauty? Is there an objective way to measure beauty? It's just questions so you're saying it's subjective, but philosophers have argued over
Yeah,
this.
it depends upon the civilization. There used to be,
Yeah.
some civilizations have an ideal beauty and some, I guess, don't.
So you're saying that there might be, it's a cultural thing as well. It's personal. Then there's the cultural conventions or the cultural
Yeah, by mere bistushen.
huh?
By mere bistushen.
Okay. What does that mean?
To me, you're beautiful.
Okay, that's good.
Bistushen.
And yet, yes.
There's also the question of what is beauty pretty? Beauty doesn't have to be pretty. It's a question of like definition, is the only way I can think to say it, it's or how you can, it's what you conceive as beauty. Which can be very different from pretty.
Mhm.
When form is appropriate to function.
Yeah.
I think that's a Greek.
Sometimes beauty has to do with a kind of harmony. That all of the particulars look together to be something more than the individual parts,
Mhm.
what one sees them as.
Well, the French Enlightenment thought that there was an ideal form for human beauty, and that essentially the reason we all look different from one another is that we've all been through different stuff in our lives and it's made a mark on us. But that if we could all live pure and without stress and without the things that harm us, we would all look identical, which is actually rather frightening to me.
Yes, it is,
Yeah.
isn't it?
He's leaving out DNA.
Yeah. Something they didn't know about back then,
Yeah.
but.
A little too ideal, a little too Platonist.
Mhm.
Right, so thank you for bringing in Plato, right, where Plato had an idea, a form of beauty, which was an ideal beauty. Does anybody know about this and want to talk about it?
I.
Yes.
I took an art history class last year, and I don't know a great deal about this, but Greek statues, Roman statues were idealized human form. And, an ideal is very narrow.
Like there
And
were
I would
rules?
say, there's a few people or things meet the standard of ideal. But I think of beauty is broader, different.
Mhm.
I guess that's part of the difference of pretty versus beauty.
So pretty meaning visually
Yeah, but I
beautiful
guess that
or
is
like
decorative, I don't.
I see, yeah. Yeah, it's hard to define, it's hard
Yeah.
to explain, because we kind of take it for granted, right? And then when we actually say, wait a minute, what is this thing we're talking about? So what you were saying about the French, or no, not that, well, I'm not sure if that applies here, but is there a formula for beauty? Is there, so for example, so Plato spoke about some ideal perfect form of beauty, which is not in our world. In our world, we're just shadows of beauty, of that ideal beauty. And Aristotle actually, I don't know if he came up with a formula, but there's certain, let's say the golden mean, for example, these proportions of beauty that we speak about. Is that the thing itself? We have rules, we have proportions, we have definitions of what beauty is, but is that truly beauty itself? A big question. So Aristotle spoke about proportion, order, harmony. But what's interesting, if you go back to Plato, which is before, I found something interesting about his philosophy, which was if beauty, it seems to be when he speaks about beauty, he's not talking about pretty. He's talking about, and this I may be over interpreting this, but it sounds like he's talking about an ideal experience of beauty. And if you can experience beauty in its purest form, it is a way towards truth. It's like beauty in his forms, in his ideal world, and we're talking capital letter, beauty with a capital B. If you are able to contemplate beauty or experience beauty, it is the way to truth and to good with a capital G as well. So we're talking about I know this is Western philosophy, but I think in human history, it seems that people are always looking for the transcendent. And in our, the Jewish culture, it's God, or the monotheistic cultures, it's God. It's that same transcendent beauty that we're searching for, perhaps.
Kalos kai agathos.
What's that?
The
Is there a word for it?
it's,
that Greek?
it's the Greek kalos kai agathos.
Okay,
Beautiful and good.
okay, yes, yes.
In that description, beauty doesn't exist unless it's experienced.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
It's sort of like if a tree falls in
Right,
the forest kind
right.
of thing. But beauty can exist without, I mean, there are lots of beautiful things I don't know anything about,
mm-hmm.
and they're still beautiful.
You think so? You think that's a good question. Does the beauty exist, or does it have meaning without eyes or without senses to experience it?
Okay, I'm gonna put John Keats in here.
Okay.
With breed of marble men and maidens overwrought, with forest branches and trodden weed, thou, silent form, dost tease us out of thought, as doth eternity, cold pastoral. When old age shall this generation waste, thou shalt remain in midst of other woe than ours, a friend to man, to whom thou sayest, beauty is truth, truth beauty. That is all ye need know on earth, and all ye need to know.
Mhm.
So I think Keats is saying that beauty exists independent of, that it can be both the cold marble, it can be the trodden forest. It exists outside of the perception of it. It is the true truth,
Mhm.
the one thing, which would seem to pull this beauty from the Song of Songs
Mhm.
out of being just a love poem.
Mhm. And was, if, I hope I understood, so was he comparing like art, like marble sculpture?
Marble sculpture
To-
or woodlands,
As opposed to, if I understood, transient, mortal life. Was that the comparison?
right,
Our
because
beauty,
he's
our beauty
saying
will fade, but
that
these
it's
were.
more than thought. Thou silent form dost tease us out of thought as doth eternity.
Mhm.
So when we're dead and gone,
Mhm. It will go on.
beauty will still remain in the midst of other woe than ours.
In the ideal world of forms.
Mhm.
So again, just.
You wanna
But
say
the
something?
idea of beauty changes with time.
Yes.
That's a good question.
I mean,
Good.
look at Rubens' paintings, all these ladies are nice and plump and they were considered beautiful. Now,
Right. It's-
maybe not so much.
Not so much, but then that comes back.
It does,
Right.
but so, is beauty carved in stone? Is something eternally beautiful,
Right.
or does our idea of beauty change over time?
I would also put forward the idea that it's almost dangerous to set a standard of beauty. And where you see a lot of societies trying to impose a set of beauty standards tend to be fascist societies. So this idea of limiting or defining beauty almost has its own drawbacks or, something not to.
Because if you define beauty, there will be the beautiful and then the other,
Mhm.
the non-beautiful.
Right, so then where do you, but again, we still are left with the, we still are left with the question of what is beauty? Okay, could be is it a changing thing, or is this is what I'm trying to get at, I'm trying to say it more clearly, maybe with the help of I got little examples of different thoughts and different philosophies and different ideas about beauty. There's two things going on. There's kind of the cultural standards of beauty, which can change over time. It can change from culture to culture, from era to era, and from person to person, even within the same culture. They might not have the same. It's a personal experience. I'll just finish the sentence. But then what about the experience of beauty? Let's kind of distinguish between, specific examples of beauty as opposed to the experience of beauty, which might be more universal. I'm trying to offer some more universal definition of beauty. Yeah.
I will hold out for subjectivity. Standards, what is perceived as beautiful will be different, not only from culture to culture, person to person, but within the same person.
Mhm.
One day you're in one mood and you will perceive a person, a piece of music, as beautiful, and your mood shifts, and it's the same exact thing as a person.
Mhm.
A
So,
couple of beers, somebody looks a lot more beautiful than they did with underwears.
Right.
So I think it does not exist.
In music, we often talk about creating great pieces of music by breaking rules.
okay.
There are rules that you learn about music and how to write music, and which I know nothing about, because I'm not educated in that area. But we've gone to music education where they give examples of Mozart's great pieces of music, and the teacher said that he did this by breaking rules.
Mhm.
And that's what distinguishes the greats from any other writer of music, is knowing when to break the rules and how to break the rules. And this person was giving the course was a composer, and he said, I wish I knew what the formula is. I do things randomly and then try to pick out of what I figured out what sounds good. He said somehow Mozart figured out how to do this, whether he did it entirely in his head and wrote it down, whether he tried lots of things and he only showed you the successes, we don't know,
Mhm.
but that he broke rules
Mhm.
to come up with great pieces of music.
Mhm.
But music is also subjective. Western music is entirely different from other cultures' music.
True.
You know,
True. So
Eastern
we get
music
back to
sounds,
that, right? So we
yeah.
get back to this thing about subjective. Is beauty purely subjective, or is there a universal? Is there a universal aspect, an ideal of beauty that is not subjective? Is there? I'm just asking because we can all agree upon, this is platonic all the way. We can all agree upon a word, beauty. Beauty we can agree upon as a word, as a concept. But then when we start getting into the details, we start to argue. So where is beauty? Beauty as an abstract concept, as an experience, as something pleasant, something that is a good feeling, right? Appealing, attractive. Okay, so this is just, I'm just throwing these things out as we go forward because okay, let me just go through Maimonides. Let's give you a few more. Maimonides found true beauty in rational and moral perfection. So we're getting away from visual things now, beauty as an experience of morality, of kind of rational order, mirroring the divine intellect. So his experience of beauty was a very rational conception of the divine as kind of like our minds are created in the shadow of God. His vision of God was apparently like a rational one. And cosmic order reflects divine purpose. Okay, that's Maimonides. Kabbalists, let's go to Kabbalists. Kabbalists found beauty. I'm just putting it on like, this is just, like, you can argue with me, but this is just one example. Kabbalists found beauty in the mystical attribute of God, the Sphirot, which is like the tree of life. It's a depiction of God. There are 10 aspects of God. So the Sphira, which is called Tiferet, represents beauty. Interestingly enough, and this is me, Tiferet is usually the central pillar, right? And for me, when we speak about beauty, we've been talking about harmony, balance, symmetry. So this is the symmetrical line, the thing that creates symmetry in the tree of life. We could, just completely conceptual, mystical. I'm not going to go any deeper than that. And what it does is it balance, so right, it's balancing, we're talking about the Kabbalists say that Tiferet, which is beauty, balances between Chesed, which is mercy and love, and, you know, sorry, go ahead. Grace, right? The softness, the mercy, versus Gevurah, which is might and judgment. Din is another word for it. So Tiferet is the balancing element of harmony that balances between the harsh and the merciful aspects, okay, of the world of God. The Tzfat Kabbalists, another branch of Kabbalists, saw beauty in, but also in a cosmic harmony, which is the cosmos. They saw the cosmos as an aesthetic drama. Okay, I'm just reading from this thing where you have this before creation, you had Ol Ein Sof, an infinite light, non-differentiated oneness, and in the moment of creation, you suddenly had chaos and multiplicity and diversity and duality and everything that is this world. And through tikkun, which is the desire to return to that unity, through tikkun, the desire is to recreate that harmony, and that is beauty. Okay, that's their conception of beauty. I hope I'm being clear, because it's difficult to say, you know, in just a few words. I hope you more or less understand, you know, get a sense of what that was. And the Hasidim, the Hasidic, speak about beauty. There are probably more examples, but the one that I found is beauty is seeing God in the ordinary.
In what?
In the ordinary. Beauty is seeing God in the ordinary, recognizing it, recognizing the miracles in mundane life. It can be revealed in a song, in a story, in nature, and I would say in the Song of Songs, perhaps. And the Talmud also speaks about beauty, because I found that there is a blessing on beauty. When you see a beautiful thing, there's a blessing. You must say when you see something beautiful. So it honors and finds beauty sacred, and we should bless upon it. So now comes to more modern day philosophy. I wanted to bring in Buber. Familiar with Buber? I mean, I'll also just briefly speak about, here we have Buber, I and thou. So Buber, I wanted to bring him in because he has his own particular idea of what beauty is, and he also has a very particular understanding of Song of Songs. I don't know if you know this, but he translated a version of the Bible with another philosopher and theologian named Franz Rosenzweig. So they were contemporaries and collaborators, and they attempted to translate the Bible and try to be faithful to the Hebrew as much as possible, but they translated into German. So it's not helpful to us. But in so doing, they wrote essays about it, and he spoke about Song of Songs in particular. So I just want to give a little background on Buber. So he was an Austrian-born Jewish philosopher, religious thinker, political activist, and educator. He was a direct descendant of a prominent 16th century rabbi, known as the Maharam of Padua. Martin Buber was born in Vienna. He came from a family of observant Jews, but broke with Jewish custom to pursue secular studies in philosophy. He spent most of his life in Germany and Israel, writing in German and Hebrew. But in my opinion, he wasn't really secular. I mean, he went to study secular philosophy, but he didn't go far from his Jewish roots. And he offered what I feel is a beautiful answer. A beautiful answer to the modern philosophical dilemma of, you know, when they said, God is dead, what do we do now? How do we find meaning in life without God anymore? What is the answer to that? And through I and thou, I think he offers a beautiful answer to that. So let's see, what did I want to say? His philosophy, I and thou, is called a dialogical philosophy, meaning it's a philosophy of dialogue, of encounter. So at the heart of this philosophy is the encounter. It has a lot of,
This is,
what?
you're talking about Song of Songs being an encounter.
Oh, true. Exactly right. That's why I wanted to bring it, because we were talking about a dialogue, right? This whole poem is a dialogue between two lovers, right? And he did a translation of Song of Songs, and he has a beautiful thing that he says about Song of Songs, which we're going to read in a moment. So, but his philosophy specifically, that he's famous for, I and thou, is called a dialogical philosophy because it puts the encounter at the center. Yes?
As I remember, he had two kinds of relationship,
go
the
ahead.
I and the I, and the thou and the thou.
Oh, it's
And then the I and thou, maybe there's more than two.
it's there too. You almost got it. It's I it versus I thou.
Yeah.
Can you guess what that? I mean, that's clear. Can you guess what that the difference between I it and I thou is? Can you guess?
Respect.
Respect. Good summary, but I think you took a big leap, and I don't know if everyone's following. The encounter of there's two kinds of encounters. The I-it encounter, which is a like utilitarian, functional, objectifying relationship of I to any object or even to another person, but not seeing the person as a person, but rather as an object or as a function or as something that is, here I wrote it down more neatly than my blabbering. It's treating the other as an object, something to experience, use, analyze, possess. That's the I-it. But he also speaks about the I-thou relationship. So he warns about the I-it relationship, but I think there is function. There's a reason, you know, in everyday functions, we do have I-it relationships with others, and that's fine, but it's important to go beyond that to the I-thou, which is a direct, mutual, and holistic encounter between two beings. The I relates to the thou as a whole being, not as an object. And in this mode, there is presence, being present, being open, and being genuine in dialogue, where you are affirming the other's reality. That there's another reality, another subject before you. And he says that this can exist between people, between a person and nature, okay? Between a person and God, and also between a person and a work of art, okay? And so I would suggest that we can also have that relationship. We have an encounter with the Song of Songs, which is about encounters. It's kind of like realities within realities. And his central claim is that the eternal thou is God. God is the eternal thou. And the ultimate relationship, it is the ultimate relationship, the thou, that is the thou.
Thou.
There you go, that is the thou. But I was just, it's his foundational ones are the I, it versus the I, thou. Yes, would you like to say something?
It's his mysticism
Absolutely.
and how, yeah, it's been years since I've read it. It sticks with you
Yes.
because, you know, you really don't need words to have a relationship like that. It's sort of a feeling. And the thou it's more than equals. It's almost a blending of two beings or whatever you're relating to.
Right. Beautiful. It's really, it's really beautiful because he was able to, I think that his greatness is that he was able to bring spirit back into the discourse of philosophy. You know, as he met it in a modern context. So let's read what he says. So he says, every thou is a gateway to the eternal thou. Every thou is a gateway to the eternal thou.
There's a sacredness in treating, with, you know, someone as thou.
So, right, so what are we saying here that in every thou encounter, it's like, you know what it's like? Namaste. You know, the meaning of namaste is the divine in me bows down to the divine in you. So every thou is a gateway or an opportunity for an encounter with the eternal thou. And if you live life that way, just imagine how wonderful life would be. Yeah.
When he speaks of every thou, at least in German and other languages, when you, French also, when you speak to family and also pets, oddly enough,
Right.
You use the thou.
It's familial.
The
Yeah.
familial. You don't do that in English anymore, but you used to. So there's the family, and then there's the
Formal.
formal, the other that I think he's talking about.
So the thou, if I'm understanding, I think that the thou is a more intimate,
Yeah.
like that you would use with your loved ones. And then here is what he says about Song of Songs. We must not first make a parable out of the Song of Songs. It is itself the parable of mutuality.
That makes sense.
Okay. So what is he saying here actually in simpler words? Can you
Open yourself to the experience of it? Is that what he means?
Well, there's definitely mutual love, the dialogue here.
Don't overthink it.
Don't ever think it's a good thing?
The parable of mutuality, meaning like this is a model for how to treat with other people almost,
Okay.
seeing the beauty in other people.
It is, and so in other words, he rejected allegorical, and this is what they say, he rejected allegorical interpretations alone. That you can't read it just as an allegorical or symbol of the divine love, because actually a genuine encounter between human beings is divine.
Right.
Because otherwise, what are you saying that this is just a, you know,
A pretty poem.
a pretty poem, it's just a love song, it's a low kind of carnal love affair. But is there really only a carnal? When you read the text, there's so much love in it. Correct me if I'm wrong, you know, there's so much love and admiration and adoration in the descriptions. You know, how can that be low? That is the reaching out of the encounter. So let me just see. So with these questions in mind and these ideas in mind, let's look at the text. So we have page 19. I'm going to double check with the Zooms. I'm sure there's nobody going to get in. Okay. So let's take a look at, we listened to the songs Hinech Yafa. Pardon me. The songs that we listened to are based on these verses. Verse 1, 15, and 16. You see it? So this is interesting because Hinech Yafa is like a recurrent motif. You're going to see it again and again and again. They refer to each other in the same way. It's reciprocal. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. And in English, I changed it to like there's so many different translations of Yafa and Yafa. I tried to keep it consistent, but it's really hard. And especially because you can call a man beautiful also. You can, but then you might forget that you don't know if I'm talking about the masculine or feminine, so. Don't take my translations, I'm saying my translations are fluid. So you can qualify them afterward. So it says 115, oh, how fair, or we can say, oh, how beautiful. Oh, how fair you are, my friend. How fair, your eyes are doves. When it's blue, it's the male voice. So he's saying to her, and immediately she responds, oh, how handsome you are. So he says, hinech yafa, and she says, hincha yafeh. It's exactly a mirror. It's a mutuality here, line after line. How handsome you are, my beloved. Beautiful indeed. Na'im, the word is na'im. And the reason why I want to draw your attention to the Hebrew is beautiful. Beautiful indeed. Okay, again. Na'im, we have so many synonyms for this experience of beauty. Na'im means pleasant, it means beautiful, it means nice, it means tasty, but there's so many translations. But the reason I want to just draw your attention, because we're going to encounter the word na'im again. Noam na'im, okay?
I want to point out
Yeah,
that when we first started here, we were talking about beauty as being cultural, and you can see evidence of that in the translation you just gave. You translated beauty as fair, but that's a cultural.
right, I
Oh,
just,
you didn't mean that?
I didn't mean it.
Oh.
Again, like I said, don't take my words don't take them with a grain of salt, because I was just looking for words. It's so hard to find the right word. Here, I think I meant to write beautiful and I left it fair by accident. I would rather say, oh, how beautiful you are. It's just that there are so many synonyms that are repeating themselves, but they all mean beautiful. Different nuances of beautiful. And we don't have enough time to go into it, but there are different nuances that were, like I said, na'im. Na'im is also beautiful, but it has a pleasantness, and you use it for like a pleasant feeling. So, and we're going to come back to that later. So since we don't have so much, we're going to kind of read through this. So you have the mirror, the mutual praise. You're so beautiful. No, you're so beautiful. And then we jump to chapter 4, which again opens it identically, but this one is, as you can see, it's in blue. That means it's the male voice speaking, and he begins again. Hinech yafa bayati. How beautiful you are, my friend. Hinech yafa. It's and I'm also drawing your attention to the repetitiveness of it. Hinech yafa. Hinech yafa. It's like he says it over and over again, not very economical with the words, right? So there's an emphasis here. Why would he repeat over and over again, as if he didn't have enough words to describe her with?
Let's make sure she hears them.
Maybe. There's emphasis and repetition. What else? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a superlative.
It could be superlative, reinforcing it. It could be just a whirlwind of emotion, being speechless. Oh, you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Like it kind of, that I would say, when I read it anyway, the repetition makes me think of someone in a, like we've had this drunken state. We've been in a drunken state. Like a mantra, like being in, yeah, good one. I can't think of a word for this, but it's sort of like, yes. In a drunken state. And he says again, Enayich Yonim, and he calls her a dove. He calls her a dove, and she also says it to him. They describe each other's eyes as doves. What do you think of that metaphor? I love it. It's a very prominent metaphor throughout, and very well quoted and quoted all the time. But what does it really mean? Like, what do you think it means? What does it mean your eyes are doves? It's not even your eyes are like doves. It's your eyes are doves.
Doves are a symbol of peace, that's
Okay.
one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also think, doves have have the softness to
Mhm.
them, they're like, softly colored
Mm-hmm.
and, they, in their sound is very, peaceful, it's not, it's not coo, they coo,
It's
they don't-
soothing.
yeah, they
Yeah.
don't shriek.
But why with eyes, you know?
Oh, because you
Peaceful
look,
to
eyes are the world, you look in somebody's eyes. I don't know.
It's one of those far-reaching metaphors
Yeah.
that, like, it's like a Zen riddle, right? Any other ideas?
Well, I don't know, I just find it creepy because I can just visualize these two. I'm a little-
I know, I've thought about it and thought about it. There have been, I've seen so many different interpretations. And I don't know if any one of them exactly, I don't know, sits well with me. It's still a mysterious one for me.
Is there another translation for dove other than the bird?
No,
No, it is.
it's basically, it is the bird because we're talking about natural imagery, not that I know of. So other interpretation I've seen is the shape of the bird. Eyes can be sort of shaped like birds, the shape is somewhat birds. And again, like your associations were good. I've seen that, those interpretations, that it's soft, it's soothing, it's a gentle bird, it's a bird of peace. It's a bird that apparently mates for life. So there's fidelity there. Softness.
Do they
Those
eat
were all-
doves?
Not really. I think they use them for, you know how you can see ancient columbariums? They used to have is that how you pronounce it? Columbarium. Columbines. What do you call those? They have, if you go in Israel, you will see ancient dove house, like houses where they kept them,
Oh,
where they
Dove
breeded
house?
them.
they're-
Columbarium. Oh,
Well,
but any case, so they were used for sending, I think they were used for sending messages and they were breeded,
Oh.
Sacrifice.
possibly. I don't know that as far as that goes, but okay, so let's continue. Because I want to get through to the end because there's so many good things here and we're never going to get there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read through a little bit just so that you can hear and think about the different metaphors. So what happens here is we're starting with the eyes. Remember I told you about this listing of the different body parts and the description? Oh, there was one other thing that I wanted to mention, that thou shalt not, help me with the exact wording because I'm thinking in Hebrew. You shall not make a
a
Graven image.
graven image. So we've been talking about beauty and we've been unable to describe any specific beauty. I want to suggest that being akin to the divine, that it's hard to define beauty in the way that it's hard to define, and dangerous, someone said the word dangerous, to define beauty or to define God specifically, or visually, that sort of fixates, creates a fixated singular image of God. It has to remain fluid, it has to remain sort of like, and in that sense, that just because we've been thinking about dove and it being such a difficult metaphor to grasp, this is an example for me of a way of describing the indescribable. Love, the divine, beauty. Okay. So he, in the sense that the beloved is describing his love, his friend, in an almost, I don't know what the word is, ineffable, indescribable way. That he's describing it, but he's still leaving us puzzled as to what he means. So let's keep going down. We've got the eyes. Your eyes are doves through your tresses. It's tsama. Tsama is a braid in modern Hebrew, but they say that it's not exactly a braid. So we're saying it's some kind of your hair, the flowing hair. Your eyes are doves through your tresses. Your hair is like a flock of goats sliding down Mount Gilead. Can you picture it, guys?
Yeah.
Is that a very, would you be flattered if someone told you that? But it is another far reaching.
Maybe they mow hair goats.
Yeah, maybe. Is that those long haired ones?
I don't,
But I'll tell you, wait,
No.
well, let's keep reading, because even if they were mow-haired, it doesn't matter, because it says, your teeth are like a flock of shorn ewes. So, I mean, the Hebrew is a little bit ambiguous, but it seems that the word ksuvot means cut short. That means they've been shorn.
Sure.
Your teeth are like a flock of shorn ewes climbing up from the washing pool, all of them twinned or matching. You can read it either way. And not one has lost its young.
So you got all your teeth.
You got all your teeth. Right, good observation. They're twin, they're matching teeth, no bereaved teeth. We'll read on. Like a crimson thread, your lips, your mouth is lovely, but the word is, yeah, okay. Your mouth, or your speech, you could say, because you could read it either way, is lovely. A slice of pomegranate is your cheek through your tresses. Again, we had this through your tresses. It always seems to be looking somehow through her hair. That's also, can you picture it? A slice of pomegranate is your cheek. What does that call to mind?
Acne.
What's that?
I said acne.
Oh, acne. You mean pockmarked face.
Like the cheeks are like little apples they talk about.
Like the apples, okay. So what color is pomegranate when you cut it
Red.
open?
Red.
Bright red, right?
Slice it.
Right,
You know,
I
you
was over-
can't really slice it.
Maybe, so who knows, maybe.
True.
Something red, something, flush.
And pomegranates are also a sign of fertility,
True, yes, so you have that association as
Yeah.
well.
all the seeds of.
Mhm. Yes. Through the tresses, like the Tower of David is your neck, gloriously built. 1,000 bucklers hang upon it, all the warriors' insignias or shields. So what are you picturing? A tower, gloriously built,
Nice long neck.
with bucklers, which are like shields.
Oh.
Like a necklace.
Yeah, like
Wearing a
like
necklace.
shiny, beautiful jewels are like, because back in the day, they would decorate towers with the weapons and the shields with the emblems on them. That was a thing, apparently. And now we're going down. So we've gone down from the eyes, teeth, hair, cheeks, neck, and where have we arrived? Your two breasts are like two fawns, two twins of a gazelle. Okay, what do you think of that metaphor? Is that
Kind of bouncy.
Yeah.
all right? That's a good one. Ah, all right, yeah. Whatever comes to mind. Useful.
Do gazelles have horns?
Oh, gosh, yes.
That one.
Yeah, had to mention-
But unless they're young, they're fawns.
Yeah.
They're twins of a gazelle, so they're fawns. They haven't grown. Good point. They don't have their horns yet. They're still perky and still, soft
Fuzzy.
and fuzzy and round. And that graze among the lilies. See, this is where we're getting, again, you sort of get lost in the metaphor. What are we talking about? The breasts or the fawns, twins of gazelles that graze among the lilies. That keeps going. The description keeps going. If we follow it, the gazelles now are grazing among the lilies. Where have we taken this metaphor? Any ideas? The whole,
Well,
yeah,
Well, but the next sentence is before the morning breeze blows and the shadows flee. I mean, these are young breasts, before she's had kids.
mm-hmm. And the lilies grazing among the lilies. I'm just gonna, yeah,
But
it's all
that goes back
youthful.
to the beginning.
Right, we have lilies.
With my beloved tending his lilies.
Right, so there's always this idea of grazing in the lilies. So when you come to this metaphor of grazing in the lilies,
Do lilies?
what do you think that means? Every time it comes to that metaphor, I feel like it's a euphemism. some euphemism for something. What does it mean to graze in the lilies and the flowers? You don't have to
They have
answer,
a
you can
nice
think about
smell.
it.
But yeah,
But this is, the grazing among the lilies and the flowers is a metaphor that comes back again and again. And we also have, they give off a fragrance, so you could say perhaps she has a good perfumed smell.
Well, maybe I'm
We would-
thinking as a
we're-
gardener, but lilies are kind of delicate, difficult to. You have to be careful with them, gentle with them.
Nice point, right, there's a delicacy here. He's treating her with delicacy. And we'll see that again, you'll see it again. This kind of, yeah, treating and approaching her as a delicate or unapproachable thing. And he rounds it off with, and then he comes down, okay, we've gone down to the lilies. Now we keep going down, and here we no longer, interestingly enough, the reference disappears. The body parts disappear, but we keep going on with the metaphor, so I'm just inviting you to think about this. The morning breeze blows and the shadows flee. I will go me to the mountain of myrrh, to the hill of frankincense. Is this literal? Is he really gonna go out there, or is he still following the are we still following his metaphor as
He's still going.
he's still going down?
as well.
Yes? We can, yes?
Gifts.
Hmm?
Maybe he's going to go to the gifts of their contact.
No, he's.
We can have an argument about it, it's fine. Maybe it's all true. So we have you're saying there's some gifts being offered?
Well, the mirth and frankincense.
The myrrh and frankincense are like gifts of, and they're also perfumes. Again, we have the lilies,
Talking about
fragrances.
They're all.
Well, I didn't want to say that, but I mean, that's the gift.
Sometimes you have.
Oh, the gifts. Oh, okay, so they are literal gifts, but they're also figurative
Yeah,
gifts.
yeah.
And what are the mountains and what are the hills? What is, it's not, mind you, it's singular here. A mountain and a hill.
Yeah.
If we're talking about, just imagine he's describing his love. So what could be the mountain? What could be the hill? As we go down the anatomy.
How anatomical do we want? to
Yeah,
get?
you don't have to answer, but I think, you know, you don't have to answer, but you can think about what he might be referring to. And whether or not we have there's a consummation of love here at the end of an idea or a fantasy of a consummation of love as he goes down her anatomy, praising and adoring her. You are all beautiful, my friend. There is no blemish in you. And that is how he ends that particular description.
So the description is so kaleidoscopic in nature, you know, it's not a systematic metaphor.
Mhm.
It's completely kaleidoscopic.
All over the place.
It's all, but that's a really kind of effective and poetic way of possibly describing multiple different things simultaneously without forcing the metaphor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If this is about the lover or God or even the garden, if you wanted to describe all of those at once, this is a much more poetic approach than just trying to force the metaphor through.
Yeah,
Where
you're
it's
kind of
on.
saying, not allegorical, and I think it's a way of, like, allegory being like the imposition of an author saying, this is what this means, giving a
Right.
one-to-one. Kind of reaching so far broadly, it almost stops you from being able to do that, right? You can't say, oh, this means this,
Mhm.
exactly.
Exactly. That's nice. So it brings me back again to not creating a graven image that is singular or fixed. Then it's kaleidoscopic and it's fluid, and we're seeing multiple meanings, and not one predominates. They're all kind of present and in dialogue or in dance in our minds. Yeah.
The person being praised dissolves into the landscape. And it opens up more easily. Getting back to Rashi's interpretation of praise, at least for the land of Israel,
Mhm.
for the love of the nature, the country,
Mhm,
the feeling of being there
mhm,
is, it's more easy to appreciate that aspect of the interpretation as
Mhm.
being not so forced.
mhm. Right. Yeah, so we can see the love of the land as well. It's like there's love, these are all the things of love being juxtaposed. We love the different things are, it's again, this love and beauty, because today our subject is beauty. So love slash beauty slash the experience of love and the experience of beauty being sort of aspects of the same experience. And so the multiple meanings all evoke a similar sense of adoration and praise of beauty.
It's given that all the descriptions are of the lover, and it's a very descriptive, description of the lover. It's a very like personal, experiential take on that. It's all about you, but it's all in the speaker's experience of the.
Right, okay. Like, see, I'm describing you, but really I'm talking about me
Yes.
and my experience of you. Nice, I like that. Yes. And that's the kind of, well, I don't know, actually. Interesting, yeah, I'm just trying to think of it in terms of the I, thou relationship. Well, we can think about that. Keep thinking about that. That's a lovely way of looking. And then we're going to, I'm thinking we don't have enough time to read all of them because we have 10 minutes. So let me think, let me see, which part should we look at? Let's take a look at the, at 5, 8, it's the top of 20. Now this time, let's look at the female speakers praise from head to, well, it's not exactly from head to toe, we'll see almost, but she goes down the description of her love. I'm going to move a little bit faster through this. I apologize because I want to get to the very end. So she said, I made you swear, O daughters of Jerusalem, should you find my beloved, what shall you tell him? That I am sick with love. We read this last week also. I'm just bringing it back because it's kind of the introduction. So she's saying, if you find him, tell him I'm sick with love. And then the daughters of Jerusalem in pink answer, how is your beloved different from any other? O fairest among women, who is your, most beautiful, not fair as in color, okay? Who is your lover that you make us swear this way? So they're asking for a description of him. It's like, if you see him, tell him I'm sick. Yeah, how are we going to know who it is? Tell us. What is he? What is he? Who is he? And now she answers, my beloved is shining white and ruddy. So he's both white, but also red. Okay. When she went out in the sun, she became dark. When he went out in the sun, he became red. I was just joking about that with my husband because, yeah, that's what happens to him. But white and red, I'm just going to throw it out here. White and red are also the mystics love this because it's like what we talked about before. Remember, there was Tiferet, and there was white, which is mercy, and red, which is judgment. Like the harsh aspects of reality and the merciful aspects are balanced by beauty. Just wanted to throw that out because it's jumping out at me. Okay, he's white and ruddy, stands out among the 10,000. He's something special. His head is purest gold. His locks are curls, black as a raven. So we're going down. His eyes are like doves. Here we have doves again. By streams of water, bathing in milk, dwelling by a pool. We're not going to dwell on the metaphors. I'm just going to let you soak them in for now. His cheeks are as a bed of spices, as banks of sweet herbs. His lips are as lilies, dripping with liquid myrrh. His arms are coils of gold, inset with ruby. His loins are fine wrought ivory with sapphire inlaid. His thighs are marble pillars, set upon pedestals of gold. Tall as Mount Lebanon, a man like a cedar. His mouth is sweetest drink. He is all delight. This is my beloved, and this is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem.
How could
So
you?
now, how can you miss him? Now go out and find him. Go out and find him for me.
Sounds like a statue. of a person.
Yeah, like we were talking about statues of marble
Yeah.
and gold, like you said. So what does that sound like? Like, I think it's wonderful that you brought that example as some kind of like, what do you call it? An immortal beauty that you're bringing forth, because she's describing something that sounds, something that won't fade,
Right.
something that is,
Very few of these descriptions of our things that are still living, right? You have ivory, you have sapphire, whereas hers were much more full of natural.
natural living flora and fauna. And when she speaks of him, he's like materials, precious materials,
Hard.
but inanimate and hard, good, versus the fawns, soft,
Yeah.
soft young gazelles. Great. And now I want to get down. Now we're going to jump. We're going to jump to the last page. Page 21. Now this is I hope we have enough time with this one, because this one for me is very special. It's for me, I share with you the ones that I like most. You don't have to agree with me, but 7, there's 8 chapters. This is the penultimate chapter, and I feel like you can argue or not, but for me, there's development in this, in the Song of Songs. I feel the development in it, and I think that, and next week we're going to get to the final chapter, which I feel is a kind of climax and a kind of culmination of the Song of Songs. You can disagree with me if you want, but this is what, so now we're getting to the penultimate chapter, and it's very rich. So here we go. Return, return, O Shulamit. Return, return. Should I have started? I'm just checking something. I'm just gonna check something, make sure that I didn't. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna start from there. Return, return, O Shulamit. Return, return, that we may behold you. What will you behold in the Shulamit? This is her answering. So the reason I put it in pink is because it's spoken kind of in a plural, kind of we. What may we? It's like, it's a group speaking. We don't know who it is. I put it in pink because it's possibly Banot Yerushalayim. It's possibly the daughters of Jerusalem, but it could be some observers. We don't know. It's strange. It's in plural. Okay? You can contemplate that. I think it has significance. Okay? And then she answers to them. What will you behold in the Shulamit? In the Machanaim dance. This is an ambiguous meaning. We've lost the meaning. Apparently there was a certain dance called the Machanaim, Macholot HaMachanaim. Literally, Machanaim means a double camp. So you might imagine that you have 2 rows or 2 groups of people dancing across from each other, and she's involved in this dance. Okay, so when you see the image of return, return, come back, O Shulamit, come back, come back. Again, there's that repetitiveness, and I'm gonna, just for a moment, for your ears' sake, remember I was talking about sibilance? The sibilance is strong here. Sibilance is the S sounds. Shuvi, shuvi, hashulamit, shuvi, shuvi, benechazebach, matachazu b'shulamit. So the shuvi, shuvi, shulamit, shuvi, 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 okay? I can hear her dress, that's what I hear. Now we'll continue. So, what will you behold in the Shulamit? And so the lover responds. How beautiful, and what does he see? How beautiful are your feet or steps in the sandals. Again, it's pa'amim, and the Hebrew is like beats, but it's the beats that she makes with her feet. So the sound is like represents her feet. So he says, how beautiful are your beats, the beats of your feet in sandals, O daughter of nobles. Your curved thighs are like jewels, the work of a master's hand. So we're moving up. Your thighs. Your navel is a crescent-shaped bowl. Let mixed wines never lack. So we're imagining that her navel is like a cup full of wine overflowing. Your belly is a mound of wheat, hedged about with lilies. Okay, there are lilies decorating this all around this mound of wheat. Your breasts are like two fawns, twins of a gazelle. We have this again. We saw it before. Your neck is like an ivory tower. Again, a tower of a neck. Your eyes are pools in Heshbon. By the gate of Bat Rabim, your nose like the Lebanon tower, looking out towards Damascus. So we have urban imagery here. A tower, Heshbon, Bat Rabim, Lebanon, Damascus. These are all places that were apparently, that have kind of like a glorious past. Because some of these places no longer exist, you know, even in the writing of this. They didn't exist. It's kind of some kind of distant, glorious past that we're imagining. Your head upon you, we've already gotten to her head. Your head upon you is like purple Mount Carmel. The locks of your head like a purple royal fabric. It's this purple, it's argaman is like that crimson of the royal crimson. A king is caught in the curls. So we have this kind of idea of, you can picture the royal crimson color of, compared to, for some reason, her head is being compared to royal fabrics and, you know, the color of red and purple. Go figure, try and figure out what does that mean. And the king is caught in your tresses. Who's the king? And what does it mean he's caught in the tresses? How beautiful you are, how pleasant. Here we have the word na'im again. Na'im, I told you, is another form of beauty, but it implies pleasantness. Oh, love, more than all delights. Now, this is interesting because we're let me see, ooh, we're already done. I want to finish this here, but when you say, oh, how beautiful you are, how pleasant, oh, love, there's a capital L here because it seems that they're not talking about her. They're talking about an idealized idea of love. It's saying love is more than all, is better than all delights. There are many delights in the world, but love is the greatest of all delights. Your stature, now he's talking about the whole body. This is a nice one. I'm going to read through it quickly. Your stature was like the palm. He's remembering her, or he's having a fantasy. We don't know. He's saying your stature was like the palm, and your breasts like the clusters of dates of the palm trees. So can you picture it? Her breasts are the dates of clusters of dates. It's quite visual. And I said to myself, I will climb up that palm tree and I will take a hold of its fronds and let your breasts. And then he switches the metaphor all of a sudden from dates to grapes. And let your breasts be like grape clusters, from this kind of cluster, that kind of cluster, and the scent of your breath like apricots, and your mouth like fine wine. So he switched to grapes again because he wanted to bring back the wine metaphor and the drunkenness. And she answers, she's saying, your mouth is like a fine wine. And she answers, sorry, it's in blue, but she says, yes, the fine wine that flows to my beloved. Speaking through the lips of sleepers. This is not a good translation, meaning it's as if, and this is where I'm trying to bring it to you shortly, like the wine causes people to talk in their sleep. You can try to understand what that means. I don't want to go too deep because I want to get to the final point. If you'll bear with me 2 more minutes. Yes? I want to go back to Shuvi HaShulamit. Return, return, O Shulamit. We've been talking about Shulamit. She finally appears. This is chapter 7. She is finally mentioned by name. If you want to look at it that way. This is my interpretation. Others would interpret it similarly, but this is my particular. Shulamit is finally mentioned in name. We mentioned what the meaning of Shulamit is. The way that I like to see it is that there's Shlomo and there's Shulamit. 2 wholes. The 2 together, it's about together they create wholeness and perfection. Whether that is earthly love, complementing each other, or something more divine. And the language here lends itself to Jewish mysticism, to Jewish, the Hasidic thought as well. What is Shuvi Hashulamit? Shuvi Hashulamit. Remember the word, you must know the word tshuva. You know tshuva? It means answer. It's like an answer that you get. It also means to return. And what is tshuva in your understanding? One quick repentance. Okay, that's one. But what is repentance really? That's right. But
Returning back to God.
returning back to God. Again, that's the union. If you repent, you will become one and whole and perfect again. And so what is this call of the chorus? Who is the chorus? I don't know. I'm throwing it out to you. Who is the chorus?
Daughters of Jerusalem.
The people of Israel, the daughters of Israel.
Women of Jerusalem.
The women of Jerusalem, but as who do they represent? They are perhaps our aspect that is to resonating with us as the readers. Shuvi Hashulamit. Return, tshuva. We want tshuva, Shulamit. And how do we get it? If you come back. Shulamit, come back to us. And we will have tshuva. And I will just play you a closing song because in the month of Elul, when is the period of tshuva, right? It's the period where before we repent, before we desire union, we sing this prayer. This Achat Sha'alti, I don't know if you remember it, you sing it through the high holidays, but you also sing it the whole month leading up to the high holidays. And the meaning of it is here on your page. Achat Sha'alti, one thing I ask of Adonai, only that do I seek, to live in the house of Adonai all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of Adonai, and to visit the sanctuary. Now, the reason why I brought it is, it's not, you can say to live in the house of Adonai, or also shavti, I returned. Again, tshuva, shavti. If there's one thing that I ask, the one thing that my soul desires, the one thing is to return. Shuvi Shulamit. Achat Sha'alti. Yeah, that's me.
That was you?
That's me upside down.
I thought it was your daughter.
It's me. It's a funny picture we made of each other. Achat Sha'alti. One thing I ask from Adonai. Tshuva. L'chazot, to see Noam, the beauty. That's the name of it. Pleasantness and beauty. And one last observation that I have interpreted, and I can't help myself, but I have to tell you about it. I said before that the image of the beginning, can you hear me? I'm sorry. The image in the beginning is that they're saying, come back, Shuvi, come back, Shulamit, and she says, what will you see in me? What do you need? Lachazot, it's the same thing, to see your beauty, right? She's saying, what will you see in me in the dance of the double camps? Now, this is a very mysterious thing. What is the double camps?
His life, her life.
Ooh, that's a nice one. There's something about this duality. There's something about duality, the dance of duality. I'm throwing this out here. For me, it's a very strong metaphor. We have a dance of duality and a desire for oneness. Achat sha'alti, one I ask. The answer is in the question. I ask for oneness. Okay, I ask to return. And the existential predicament that we're in is a predicament of duality and separateness. So we're dancing all the time, and it's that dance that Shulamit is dancing with us. And we Shubi.
Oh, nice.
All right, thank you. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
out on a cold night.
Yeah. Wow.
So is next week our last?
Last week is the last session, and hopefully we'll be able to cover the last chapter, the culminating chapter.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
She did, yeah. Just then.
Yeah.